I have been owning this Lamborghini for 6 months now. I bought it half a year ago with my e-commerce money, and this is the full review of my Lamborghini Urus. Half a year ago I bought this car and I'm fucking in love with it. I'm going to give you a full honest review, no bullshit review of the Lamborghini Urus. And I am not some car nerd, so we will not go over the nerdy specs. You can just Google those if you want. I'm gonna talk about how it is to actually own a Lamborghini Urus in 2024. Things I love about this car, things I hate about this car, how much I paid for it, and all the juicy details you would potentially want to know if you're looking to buy a Lamborghini Urus. So this right here is a 2019 Lamborghini Urus and I paid 275 euros for it, which is absolutely insane. When I bought it, it had 79,000 kilometers on it. So I paid around $300,000 for it, right? In dollars, it's 300K, and it has a shitload of mileage on it. And these are just the Portuguese car prices. For some reason, everything here in Portugal is hella expensive. It would have been much cheaper if I bought the car in Germany or in Belgium, for example, and then imported it. But I obviously had no time to deal with that hassle, and I wanted a Lamborghini really fast. I remember I decided I want to get a Lamborghini, and 2 weeks later I purchased this one and I had it right here. So sadly I overpaid by a lot, but these are just the car prices in Portugal, I guess. Now I didn't just send all my cash to the dealership. No, I paid down 100K cash and I financed the rest, and I am now paying around 2.4K every single month to financing. Now let's talk about the things that I love about this car, because there are so many. First of all, the seats, for example, are so fucking comfortable. It is a sports car, but you can just drive around in it all day long. I haven't done a long road trip in this car yet. I think the longest I was driving in it was 3 hours or something, but we're planning on doing a 7-hour road trip very soon, and it has super comfortable seats, and they even give you a massage, so that is really good, because usually I hate sitting in a car for a long time. My back is always completely fucked, but this car has really nice massaging seats. In general, of course, it is also super fucking fast. The fastest I've driven with this car is 270 kilometers an hour, allegedly, by the way, because obviously in Portugal, this is not Germany, we don't have an autobahn, but the way it keeps accelerating even at high speeds is absolutely insane, and you have to really drive in it to feel it. Another major benefit of this car is, as you can see, we wrapped it in purple, by the way. We paid around 3K for the wrap. The original color was gray, boring gray, no one wants a gray Lambo, but the big plus of this car and a big benefit is that everybody looks at you, and I know that it sounds extremely superficial, but you do just feel like the fucking king on the road. Of course, getting a lot of views shouldn't be your goal when buying any car, but it is really fun. You just also have to feel it yourself. For example, when we pull up in Lisbon to a nice hotel, the people there, they treat you like a god. You get the best service anywhere, in restaurants, hotels, just because you have a flashy colored Lamborghini. And again, it sounds extremely superficial, but that is just how humans work. This is literally a power status symbol right there. Now let's talk about some of the features that we have on this car. We have the sound system, of course, which is like a 7K upsell. Crazy. We have the useless screens in the back, completely useless. They don't even work. They're like extremely old Samsung tablets or something. They lag extremely hard, but it is fun to brag with, of course, even though they don't work whatsoever. We also have an open sunroof, which is really nice if it is hot weather, which is very often is here in Portugal. We have the carbon ceramic brakes, as you can see as well, and I've only had to really push these brakes once. This happened last week. Allegedly, again, I was driving extremely fast and someone all of a sudden drove in front of me, and I had to push the brakes extremely hard. My heart was pumping like crazy, but the brakes did their job, luckily. If we take a look at the booth, it is an extremely large booth space. As you can see, you can really fit a lot in here, especially if you put the back seats down. Another major benefit, of course. And in general, guys, this is just, in my opinion, the best SUV you can buy. I didn't even look at any other options as far as SUVs goes. This was a huge impulse purchase for me. I was actually looking at getting a Huracan first, but then, I mean, look at the ground here. These are the roads in Portugal. It is completely horrible, so I had to get the Lamborghini Urus because it is an insane car. It is a Lamborghini and it is functional as well because it is an SUV. Now, the last benefit of this car is that supposedly it also is a good investment. It retains its value. Now, I did overpay by a lot, but it was still the cheapest Urus available in Portugal at that time. So again, I paid 275,000 euros for a 2019 Lamborghini Urus, and it had 79,000 kilometers on it when I bought it. In any other country, this would be an absolute insane price, but here it is still relatively cheap for a Urus. And I think, but maybe I'm completely wrong, please let me know in the comments, that if I were to sell this baby right now, I could even sell it for maybe more than 275k, because as you can see, I spray painted this black, or actually I didn't do it, the wrapping company did it, because in a 2019 Urus, usually this is gray, which is extremely ugly, so we had to make this one black, and I put a sick wrap on it, like purple. Everybody wants a purple Lamborghini. But again, if I'm completely wrong, let me know in the comments, you nerds. But now it is time to talk about some of the things that I hate about this car, because there are some, especially when we first got it. The only car I can compare it to though is my Tesla. So the first car I ever got was a Tesla Model 3, as you can see right here. And that car in and of itself is also a pretty crazy car, technology wise especially. So I was already used to crazy speeds, and I was already used to a very convenient technology. The Urus though doesn't have any convenient technology whatsoever. And again, I'm comparing it to the Tesla. I don't know how other cars normally are, but for a car that costs 300,000 euros, you would expect it to be a lot more innovative. For example, when you walk away from your car with a Tesla, usually it locks itself. With this car, you have to push the fucking key button, which means that sometimes you're in a restaurant and you think all of a sudden, did I press the lock button or did I forget it? And then all of a sudden you have to go back to the parking lot, lock it. That actually never happened, but it could have happened if I had an extremely bad memory. Secondly, you don't even have wireless CarPlay. So if you want to use CarPlay, because the GPS sucks, like the infotainment system of Lamborghini itself is horrible. And if you want to use Android or Apple CarPlay, you have to plug in your phone with a cable, which is super annoying as well. And again, technology wise, the screens in the back, they're just useless. They lag really hard. Maybe it's because this car is almost 5 years old. Now another downside is of course the price. It is really expensive. The car itself is expensive as fuck. The service is extremely expensive. For example, we have to service this car next month, and it's gonna cost me at least 3k just for the yearly service. With a Tesla, for example, there is no service. I mean, we had a problem with the Tesla once. I opened up my Tesla app, I clicked get me a technician. The next day, a guy in a Tesla Model S rolled up to my house and he fixed the car for free. With this car, for example, there's a fucking light now that says go to service. Now we have to drive all the way to Lisbon, pay $4,000 to get I don't know what fixed, and that is just a price you have to pay for a beast like this. The insurance is also extremely expensive. I paid 6k for it for a full year. That is also because I didn't even at the time of purchasing this car have my driver's license for one full year yet. And that is obviously a big what the fuck moment when the insurance looks at this request and they see a 24-year-old bought a Urus that costs 300k and he doesn't even have his license for one full year yet. And then the last thing I don't really love about this car in particular are the wheels. Like the rims, the diamond rims, I mean, they look kind of nice, but I wish we had newer rims, and I might replace them soon for newer wheels, because I think black would look so much cooler with the color that we got, purple. Now, do I advise you to ever buy this car? Am I happy with this car, and would I do it again if I knew what it was and how much it actually costs? Let's go to the conclusion. Hey, hey, hey. 5 a.m. in the parking lot. Old black trucks taking parking. So, should you buy this car? Now, I do know that 99.999% of you watching do not even have close to the money that is needed to buy this car. But if you're dreaming about it, then 100% yes, this is the greatest purchase I've ever made in my life. Not only because of the fact that people respect you more, not only because of the fact that it's just a really fun machine to drive around with, but also because it completely expands your mindset. That's what it did to me. As a business owner, you need to purchase things like this to go to the next level. It feels extremely intimidating to spend $300,000 just on a car, but because I did, my business went like this, just because I now identify as a multi-millionaire Lamborghini owner. So just for the fact that it expands your mindset alone, it is worth the full price. People very often compare this car to an Audi RSQ8, but that's ridiculous. It is a fucking Lamborghini. The Audi RSQ8, no one will look like they look at this beast. You won't feel the same in it. It is not even as fast. So don't listen to the broke people who are trying to compare this to the Audi. So if you have the money and you're thinking of buying the most functional, sick car in existence, this is probably gonna be it. Now, if you're wondering how I even make my money as a 24-year-old to be able to afford a Lamborghini, I've been doing e-commerce over the past 5 years, and more particularly dropshipping. And if you want to know more about it, I do not even have a paid course, but there is a free course below with my entire strategy. So check it out right now and let me know if you want me to do more car reviews. I would need more cars though, so please subscribe and make sure I make more money.